Coach, the fights yesterday, could you just talk about that? Was it good? Was it good to see? We had talked about it
Yeah.
before, but
No, I mean it's definitely part of a competitive environment. I mean I'm all for the fighting, but as long as you don't cross the line, I think really the message to the team is you just can't throw punches. I mean we all understand what the rules of the game are. So you throw a punch, you're out of the game. You're 48-man roster on game day, so you can't ask your team to be super competitive and push the envelope and not to think you're going to have situations where we're crossing the line. And definitely was provoked by the media yesterday, but we overcame it, and we only got two guys thrown out of the game. So no, but you can't throw punches, and that's the biggest message that came out of yesterday. So I'm all for it. I think a good, healthy skirmish is healthy. Conflict is good. It's all part of how we train. But we don't want the bull, the BS and any of that stuff that's unnecessary. And at the end of the day, you just can't throw a punch.
Do you have that message specifically to Micah, or does that go to everybody?
Well, I went to the whole team today, and it's obviously it's echoed all the time. I mean, we start training camp that way. Everybody's excited to be here, and then we have to really reinforce it once we put the pads on, and this all goes into the thought process of why we practice the way we do, and why we don't felt the need to practice against another team.
Coach, as you wrap up training camp, how would you assess this camp?
I think it's been an excellent camp. I think clearly the teaching, I know I talk in riddles sometimes, but I really look at things through education, and then the application of it, and then really the evaluation. And I think our education volume, and the only comparables we have are the last 2 years. So I thought the education, instruction and all that was really good this year. I think you can see it in the communication out here amongst the players, between the lines. I think the application was good. I mean, would I like to have more? Absolutely. I don't think you can have enough padded work in today's culture or climate of how we prepare for the season. So I think we definitely had really good quality work. And I think the evaluation process, I just look at the video. I mean, we've had incredible teaching situation, and that's really has always held up in my time in the league. Some of the best teaching tape you'll ever have is in training camp. So, and I think we've really benefited from that.
Will Greg get a little bit of a longer look? I'm sorry. Will Greg get a little bit of a longer look just because of what you got in Cooper a little bit?
Yeah, I think we'll do the play time here at 3:30. So yeah, we want to make sure we give Will every opportunity. Let's go back to last year. He didn't get to play as much because of his injury. So yeah, I definitely want to get a super long look for Will.
Maybe it's social media and just a different age, but like when a pick is thrown by a quarterback, Dak or whoever, it seems it gets overanalyzed. How do you guys look at interceptions during training camp practices? You look at them any differently than games?
Well, I think you look at it. You look at every play. Every play is evaluated. You look at the start of it. Starting with the pre-snap. What went on at pre-snap, or their indicators and mannerisms, and then you look at the first 2.3 seconds. What went on there, and then if you get into the extended play, every play is evaluated the same. So the result is really the learning opportunity. So So I'm not your guy with social media. I apologize.
Well, no, you just don't get carried away. If Dak, I think he had 5 or 6 while in padded practice. Well, that's not something that concerns you.
Well, I think the opportunity to learn from them is the focus. Because I think we've all come to the understanding this great media relationship that we have. We don't have concerns. We have focal points.
Okay.
So.
getting back to the competitive spirit of yesterday, did you like to see that from Tyler? Just the offensive line fighting back. Obviously we remember a couple of years ago when things happened in Washington and the offensive line didn't necessarily take up for the quarterback. But you want those enforcers, that nastiness up front.
Well, you want it throughout your team, and I think that's all part of the the individual, the group, the unit, the team coming together. I mean, everything happens in steps. Some positions are further ahead than others. I think that's normal. I think you see that on each and every team I know that I've been a part of. But at the end of the day, when a unit comes together, that's the way it looks, and then ultimately you come together as a football team. I don't want the unnecessary activity that puts a player in danger of getting hurt. There's lines. There's always lines, and really the clear line that is my focus is you can't throw a punch. You throw a punch, you're out of the game. It's clear cut, and the old days you threw a punch, you were really coaching the other guy. It's because it was the guy that threw the second punch that got caught. So we work in the way things are officiated today, and with all the cameras and everything. Both guys are getting thrown out in today's game. So, we have a technique that we teach in those situations. And yeah, definitely, you got to protect your own, and that's a big part of it. But, I know I said it, I don't know how many times, you can't throw punches in there.
How do you approach practices next week back in the first
We'll do the night practices. We'll have two similar practices that we've had here the last 2 days.
Can you get outside at all in the morning for any walkthroughs, or will everything be indoors?
We'll be indoors next week, because we have the fan appreciation that goes on in that week going into the third preseason. So the goal is definitely to get outside the following week.
Is there anybody that stood out that you maybe caught your eye in camp that you didn't necessarily expect?
I think you can go through all the young guys because you never really know. I mean, you just look at the rookie class and the rookie free agents. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed with our young group.
Without getting too much into specifics, what challenges do you think lay ahead for the second and third units in Seattle?
Well, I think the biggest focus is just really just to build off of what we accomplished in Jacksonville. I think number one is we got to take care of the ball better. Obviously we want to stay after the takeaways. We want to be 2+. And just adhering to the basics and just overemphasizing the Cowboys 6 fundamentals. I thought the pace operation in game one was really good for week one of preseason. So now we get a chance to work. I hope there's a really good crowd. I mean, for God's sakes, it better be. We're playing at 7 o'clock on the West Coast. So, but for good reason, I'm sure. But I think the environment, this will be really good for our young guys to play in a away game.
Cool.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.